it's not shifting entirely from the content
Yeah.
you're making, but then you as a creator, you're happy with what you're putting out because now it feels like you're putting your whole
Feels
self out.
more you. All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 3 of Attack Your Dreams podcast. My name is Connor. I am your host. Today, I am joined by Josh Snipes. Josh puts out content around Rainbow Six Siege, a game that I am absolutely terrible at, but I got into Rainbow Six Siege a couple of months ago and found Josh on YouTube, but he also streams on Twitch. So, Josh, how are you doing today? What is up, my man?
I'm doing great. Just taking every day one step at a time at this point. I mean, just trying to get outside as much as I can, not go stir crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been on more walks.
Yeah, I've been on more walks this last month than I think I've ever been on my entire life.
After seeing what you've been doing on your Instagram, I was like, okay, I just need to go outside and start running because
I love it.
I used to play a lot of soccer in high school.
Oh, nice.
I like ever since I graduated, I haven't been working out as much or running as much. And I saw yours and I was like, man, dude, he makes this like look so easy. So I was like, okay, I just need to like set a number. So I've been trying to run like 3-ish miles this whole week.
That's intense. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, so starting there and then
working your way up, dude.
Yeah.
That makes me feel so good. So you have no idea what that means to me. So, Josh, so I'm a huge comic book nerd. Well, not really comic book nerd. Let's be real. I like the movies. But I'm really big into superheroes. And so I like to start with comic book number 1, your origin story. So I just want to know, did you game as a kid? And if so, what games were you playing and what consoles were you playing on?
I think I've been gaming for as long as I can remember. Like, I want to say the first console I started playing was probably I don't know which Mario it was, but it was probably Mario on like the N64.
Yeah,
that's probably the first one.
Like Smash Bros or something, or Mario Kart.
It wasn't Smash Bros. It was just the normal.
Oh, like
the actual Mario. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then from then, I started playing more like shooters and FPS type games.
What was your first FPS you started playing?
It's probably Halo.
Halo
1 or Halo 2, one or the other. Because I had
those games were so great.
Yeah, I had an older cousin that would always bring his original Xbox over, and we'd play Halo on that.
Yes.
So yeah, Halo is probably the first one though, where I was like, "This is amazing. Like this whole genre is amazing." So ever since then, I mean, I've been switching between whatever
shooters and stuff.
Yeah.
So what console did you get first? Did you get an Xbox, or was it typically like your cousin bringing?
An Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. The first one, the first like major one that I got was an Xbox. I mean, obviously had like little Game Boys, or I don't even know if people remember like the Game Boy Colors.
Oh, absolutely, bro. So, I'm a 90s kid, man. I remember the Game Boy Color. Come on.
Well, I know you remember, but I'm just saying there's some people that probably watch your stuff that maybe have no idea what a Game Boy Color was.
You're right. Let's be real. They're all 15. they don't have a clue. So they were born in 2005. They're like, Game Boy Color? What are you talking about?
Now you have a phone that can play everything. You don't have to worry about nothing.
You can mod it up to play all the Pokemon games and stuff. Yeah. Did you ever play like Pokemon, like Fire Red or anything like that?
I was a big nerd. So I mean, I swear to God, I've had like almost all the different gaming stuff that's come out. I don't play console anymore because I obviously have a computer now. But I try to keep up with stuff. Try to keep up with stuff that's like in the industry and things that are going on. Because it almost seems like, for whatever reason, more and more people are able to make this more of a life.
Yeah,
it used to be. It used to be just a hobby and a side thing that you did.
Oh, absolutely.
And it seems like so many people now are able to take that like one step further, which is absolutely insane. Because I never thought. Like, if I were 15 now, seeing what is happening, I could justify playing hours of video games.
Oh, 100%. I spent 31 days on Call of Duty 4, literally like logged in time, and I would have justified it a lot better.
You tell your mom, like, Mom, I can make so much money. Let me play this.
Mom, if you will just buy me this streaming rig, I can make so much money doing this.
No, seriously, that's because I got my computer that I have now. I got it. I want to say 4 years ago, just
Okay,
about 4
nice.
years ago.
Did
Yeah,
you
and
build it yourself or did
yeah,
you? Okay,
yes.
nice.
I
Nice.
yeah, I worked at a computer store and
Oh, awesome.
I got to learn a lot. I mean, I was a sales associate for computers, but like because I had to learn all about all the different things. So I ended up just working out that way. And
Oh,
so I just
that's
bought my
awesome.
computer from there also. So when I built it, and then I just had it ever since.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what made you, did you just want to build it because you worked at the computer store or did you want to build it for like gaming
So
specifically?
I didn't have the last console I had was the Xbox 360.
Okay, gotcha. So
I never bought
you didn't go
anything
that next gen?
beyond,
Okay,
yeah, I never
gotcha.
bought anything beyond that because I think by the time the Xbox Ones came out, I think I had just graduated and I was like, I don't really want to bring a whole TV and a
Yeah.
console
Oh, so we're
to
about the
college.
same age then, because I think the PS4 and Xbox came out the year I graduated, so
Yeah,
2013.
because I graduated in 2015, so
Okay, gotcha,
not too
gotcha.
far off.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I didn't end up buying those, and so but I don't know, it felt weird because I felt a want to game, but I didn't have a
uh-huh,
console, and so
uh-huh.
I had my school laptop, but the school laptop wasn't very good, and so then I was like, all right. So after my first year of college, when I moved out of the dorms,
Yeah,
when I got into an apartment, I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy myself a computer, build it, and
yeah.
then I never thought that YouTube would be a thing that I would try and pursue. Like that was never even on the radar. But
Gotcha.
there was just stuff that I was like, okay, I'm looking for this video for Rainbow Six Siege. I'm like, where is it? There's nothing there. And so eventually I was like, okay, I gotta just start filling gaps because if it's not there now, then like I gotta start looking to see how I
Yeah.
can maneuver that.
That's amazing. So you literally started YouTube just because you couldn't find a video that you were looking up for
Yeah.
Rainbow Six Siege?
And a big part of it too was I think I'm trying to think of when it actually started. I think I started it sort of in fall of 2016.
Uh-huh.
So however
Don't
4
worry, I
years
was
ago
looking
almost.
through your
Yeah.
channel. It was
Yeah,
fall of
yeah. It was a
2016.
long time ago.
So
Um and I didn't know what exactly I wanted to make yet. I
yeah,
had no idea. So I was just kind of like putting out videos that were all different
yeah,
styles and stuff like that. And then that's when I realized, like, hey, there is this opening because either A, the videos aren't out, or B, I think I can do something better than someone else that was explaining
yeah,
it. And not from
yeah,
a sense of like I think I'm better than them, but just like
yeah,
I feel like I might be able to explain it better or
yeah.
maybe
Like a better
help.
teacher, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha,
totally.
gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna ask you because like I was looking through your channel and like from 2016 and 2017, you know, nothing really popped on there. You were
No.
putting out, and I think you were kind of trying to find, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're
No,
trying to
no,
kind
you're
of
totally I
find
know where you're
who,
going. You're
yeah,
totally
like
right.
you're trying to find who you were going to be on YouTube, what you were going
Yeah,
to make.
totally.
You were putting out like Battlefield 1 content, Rainbow
Yeah.
Six Siege content. But then you posted that how to play Habana. And if you don't know, Habana is an
Mhm.
operator in Rainbow Six Siege. And that video popped. It got
Yeah,
55K
that was
views.
seriously one of the craziest video. I think it's been a year almost to the date that it popped. Like
Really?
almost, yeah, yeah. It's been almost. I think it's been almost a year to the date
So
from
that was
like
a year after you posted it then too, right? Because it came out, it says it's 2 years ago, but I don't know if
yeah.
that's actually
I mean, it was almost. Trying to think of how long ago it was, but it was literally like I posted it, and it was the first time I was doing that format of a video
yeah,
because I had never done like a how-to series or anything like that. So that was a really like pilot video really for that
yeah,
series. And then from there, I want to say like 6 months or something like that. It started for whatever reason getting caught in the algorithm again, and I was like, okay, clearly I hit something, and like people obviously want
yeah,
something,
yeah,
and so that's when I started to realize everything started to click on YouTube. Like all the content, everything started to click on YouTube, and the direction that I could go because I really like. For me, I really like teaching people things,
yeah.
not even just in the game, like just anything.
Just
If
in
I can,
life.
yeah, if I can share my knowledge with someone, then
Yeah,
that's, and obviously I'm obviously up for discussion. So if someone doesn't agree with it, totally cool. I'm actually way happier going through a discussion on it than I am just telling you and you listening.
Yeah.
So
So like when you were growing up, did you find yourself in moments like that where you were teaching somebody something, like not even in video games, but like I know I'm calling back way early
no,
on, but
you're
like,
all good.
but like, did you find yourself in scenarios where you were teaching somebody something, or at least helping them along their journey in learning something
I
when you
don't
were growing up?
I was growing up though, I was a pretty quiet person. I mean, I feel like
Gotcha.
generally I'm still a pretty quiet person.
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, it never was like I never really inserted myself, but if someone asked me a question, I'd try. I'd
Yeah.
try my best, but I would never like insert myself into that role. Versus
Yeah.
on YouTube now, I can put out a video and then that person can choose to
They come
listen.
to
And
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not as invasive, and then at least that way I can create a dialogue that way, because I've definitely had tons of people, they'll come to the videos, they'll ask a question about something I was talking about, or
Yeah.
maybe they'll have a completely different question that's just related to the game. And so things of that nature have really started to happen. And I
Yeah.
feel like for me, it's been a learning process as much as a growing process going through all
For
of that.
sure. Yeah.
So I know it's just because I try to learn first before I try to explain something and try to understand something. So that way, if someone asked me, I can at least give them some semblance of advice.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, like, I'm trying to think what video caught my attention, because so I play with basically my brothers. It's
Mhm.
my brother and then his two brother-in-laws that we've
Mhm.
been playing together for years, probably a decade now. And so like we started playing League of Legends like a few years ago, and so finally a couple years ago I built a PC and we got into
Mhm.
Rainbow Six Siege. Honestly, we got into it and then for about a year we were out of it, and then we got back into it this January,
Mhm.
and I was just garbage. And so I was like, okay, I am so trash. One, I'm just awful at PC gaming, and so it really
Yeah.
makes me mad because like on console I feel like I'm okay at first person shooters, but on
Yeah,
PC,
totally.
and everybody talks about how a mouse and keyboard is so much better, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
trash at this. Like, this is
totally.
ridiculous. And so like they were carrying me, and I was like, man, I gotta get better. And so I'm pretty sure I found your how to play Anchor. I was looking through your videos.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the first video I watched was how to play Anchor. And if you don't know, Rainbow Six Siege, you're defending a site. One team is attacking, the other team is defending, in a very simplified version of what's happening.
Very
But
simplified.
yeah, exactly. But some people are staying on site protecting the site, and some people are roaming around. And so I was like, okay, I'm trash, so I'm going to just stand right here. I don't know the maps that well. And so
Well,
I think I found your video on how to play Anchor. Sorry, go ahead.
no, it's okay. Because I was gonna ask you, like, when you were building up the following that you have now,
Yeah.
like pretty big, by most people's standards, pretty large.
Thank you.
Did you kind of wander through that whole like, I don't really know what I'm doing with this, or did you, when you made it, did you just like, all right, this is where like the direction I'm going?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I fumbled around. So I started in 2017, and I fumbled around. So I was on YouTube first, fumbled
Mhm.
around for months and months, finally started an Instagram in March of that year.
Mhm.
And then in June in that year, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go all in on Instagram, and
Oh,
started
that's
posting
awesome. Yeah.
four times a day. But honestly, it didn't like pop or anything until
Yeah.
like that next year. So like 2018, like
That's some
January
serious
2018.
patience.
Oh,
That is
dude,
some serious patience.
it was growing steadily. Like I hit like probably
Yeah.
1,000 followers like in August. So like
Mhm.
there were some signs that were like, okay, this is moving on
General
up.
direction. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was actually going to talk to you about the year of 2016 and 2017. You were putting out content on a very consistent basis, like,
Yeah.
but nothing was kind of popping. Like, what was your mindset like during those years? Were you just kind of posting them for fun? Were you trying to figure it out? Like, what was your goal in those years before obviously that Habana video popped?
I think one of the biggest things that I was trying to do was I was just trying to figure out, what niche because the thing is I was going through all these business classes because I graduated with finance. So I took a ton of business classes, marketing classes, all that stuff. So one of the biggest things is I was trying to figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong? Because obviously I'm taking all these business classes. What am I learning? And then how can I apply it? So, and then one of the things that I learned is that I just gotta try to find a niche. And something that fits me. You know, it can't just be something that's forced because it doesn't, you'll burn out or it just shows in the way you do things. So I thought, hey, maybe because I had a group of friends that I played with all the time back then that like we would always make each other laugh. Like it was just like we were having fun with every game that we were playing. So my idea was, hey, let's just try, like in my head, I was like, let's try to make funny videos. Those seem to do well on YouTube. And we'll see what happens. But the problem is I feel like it's a lot easier to make funny videos when the group that you're playing with, when it's not just you making the videos. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
If you look at a lot of, there's a lot of YouTube, I don't want to call them groups, but just like group of friends kind of. That, they put out funny videos, but they all have their own little style and thing like that. So it's a little different. But for me, I just couldn't find where that was. And so I eventually, I think 2017 into 2018, somewhere around there, I was like, okay, well, we got to try something else because obviously it's not working. Because the whole thing is that, for me at least, is that the more content you put out, the higher a chance that someone will see it. And then, you know, it snowballs into more and more and more. And that's what happened with the Hibana video. It was like one person saw it and 10 people saw it, then 100 people saw it. And then it just kind of kept going on. Kept rolling. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with Instagram stuff too, is all the Instagram stuff. Cause that's the thing I did too, is I was actually posting to Instagram. And I was trying to get like a following on there. And then eventually when the YouTube picked up, I kind of pulled back from Instagram because like, I'm going to double down. I'm going to put all of my effort on YouTube. And then eventually, my girlfriend and I were actually talking about this last night. Eventually, I'm going to diversify everything else, you know, so that way you're not relying on one.
On one platform. For sure. For sure.
And I feel like that's what you're doing right now. You know, you got your Instagram, you got the Instagram, and eventually, you know, push for the YouTube, push for the other stuff. Because do you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is? Or Gary
absolutely, bro.
That's literally, I've been watching him like the last like couple of months, like just nonstop, just watching everything. And that's been what's speaking to me, where it's like, you don't have to put out like perfect individual pieces of content every month. It's just keep shooting, like rapid fire, just keep shooting, and eventually things start sticking, and then you go that direction with
I think that's a great point of like quantity. Like I think a lot of times people really, I mean, and Gary talks about this a ton, like so many people overvalue the content they put out, and like and that was something that like just flipped in my head of like, oh wait, like I just need to put out a ton of content and see what clicks. And honestly, as you were talking, it just blows my mind the humility that you had. I mean, you probably put out 100 videos before that.
While you're talking, I'll double check it because I have no idea how many.
Like, I mean, I as I'm scrolling through, like I bet you put out 100 videos, and the humility to flip the switch and say, you know what, well, let's take a different approach to a more teaching. I mean, you're more teaching than you are like just gameplay video type stuff. And so the humility that you're talking about of, you know, to spend 2 years and make 100 pieces of content, you know, and good content. I mean, for by all stretches of the imagination, like good pieces of content, good length and everything. And then to, you know, to have the humility to flip that switch and say, you know what, this isn't working. Let's put our energy somewhere else. And I mean, I think that's a huge point for people that want to go after their goals. You know, for me, like the reason I want to do this podcast, the reason I want to learn about YouTube and things like that, like, is because on Instagram, it's like, okay, I've kind of found where I'm at, but I kind of want to flip a little bit more, not so much to just superhero stuff,
Yeah.
more to fitness, more to teaching, more
Yeah.
to gaming, things like that.
Totally.
And so trying to figure that out. And
Yeah.
so I think that just takes a lot of humility on your part to say, hey, I'm going to go all in on this other
Yeah.
side, and to see where it turned out is just crazy. So
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest part too is I wouldn't even necessarily call it humility. It's just a change of direction for me, because I feel
yeah,
like, I don't know, when I think of humility, I think of someone who, all right, this didn't work, let's start a whole new direction. It really wasn't as much as starting a whole new direction as it was
yeah,
just pivoting
yeah,
to a different video style or different content, you
yeah,
know? Because I feel like for me, if it would have came down to it, I would have walked away from the whole channel and done something else, like
yeah,
created something else.
yeah,
Luckily I didn't have to do that, but there was definitely a lot of times where, you're like, this isn't working.
yeah,
Like, none of the videos are working. The idea isn't working. I'm
yeah.
shoveling all this time, all this money, whatever. Maybe you buy a brand new camera and
Uh,
it's just not sticking.
yeah,
That's humility to me, is being able to just walk away from whatever you were
yeah,
trying and just start a whole nother thing.
yeah,
But because I know people like that who put in, 110, 150% effort,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden doesn't work out. And you can either sit in it and just be
yeah,
like, I give up, or try and see if you can find whatever the next best thing is. Because that's what the group that I am always with now, the group that I'm in Discord with,
uh-huh.
that I play
That
with
you
all
play
the time.
with. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have 3 people on there are analysts for pro teams, like actual Rainbow Six pro teams. One of them's graphic designer, and then I have other people who, they're into creative stuff, and not necessarily content creation for YouTube, but they do other stuff outside of
Gotcha.
YouTube or stuff like that, and they all work really, really hard. So that's been a big thing too, was I started surrounding myself with people who were just as driven, even more driven than I was, and who knew, like, the 3 pros analysts or coaches, I guess they're kind of in between all of them.
Yeah.
They
That's
do a
legit.
lot. Yeah, they do a lot. But for me, I learned a lot about the game from them. I learned a ton about the game from them.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the stuff that go over my videos is stuff that I've picked up either from watching them or just listening to them.
Yeah.
So that's part of it too, is I've learned to just surround myself with people who are smarter than I am, because
huge, man.
Eventually, it's like, eventually you keep hearing someone talk,
Yeah.
you're going to start repeating what they say. So it's like, you might as well surround yourself with people who are just as driven and know the game way better than you do, because you're going to pick up stuff that you can share with other people.
Yeah.
Well,
and if you have because I would say you're very talented at like teaching things. I mean, like, I watch a lot of your videos.
Talented, but
yeah. Oh no, I would. It takes a talent to teach people things. Like, I even find myself struggling in that area of like, I'm like, I understand the content and putting out a bunch of content, but like, I think there is one skill. Like, I think I need to get better at like actually communicating something that gives them value, that helps them, like, hey, in fitness, this is how you do this, not just spitting it at them. Like, it's like, but actually walking them through it where they figure it out. And I think that's what you do good in your videos, is like, you put out videos that, like, a player like me, who's a freaking bronzy, basically, made it into silver though. So that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, it's a step up.
It is a step up, but I'm still trash. So you find me in a gunfight, I'm definitely getting shot in the head. So, but like, I'm terrible at the game. And honestly, coming back into it, there were so many map changes, like so many new maps. And it's like, to have somebody walk you through it in a very detailed manner in 10 minutes of like, and to break it down even by like ops, like, here's Habana, here's Mira, it's like, I just saw your Mira video and I was like, oh crap, I need to watch that because I just got Mira. It's like, to break it down by even like specific operators, like that's a real talent, honestly, to be able to do that. And I just think it's cool that you really shifted towards that and have kind of grown into that even. So and hearing that you play with, those guys and surrounding yourself, because that's a big deal. Like surrounding yourself
Oh
with
yeah,
people that
totally.
desire to, whatever they're doing. It doesn't even have to be the same thing as you.
Yeah.
Like Josh is saying, like none of those guys want to be a YouTuber, it's like, but they all are surrounding themselves, or they're all pursuing a goal and a dream. And it just helps inspire you and keep you motivated, honestly.
Oh, totally. And the biggest thing too is that when you watch someone else's work ethic, and especially there's a lot of stuff like, I'm hearing about the problems that they've been having and the things that they've been dealing with, and even just in or out of the game, and watching them kind of move through it, handle it head on, and then keep going. That's also been a big thing for me too, is, you learn, all right, if this didn't work, if this strategy didn't work, what can I do better in the next game? And so that sort of mentality is also carried on. But that's why when I saw your Instagram, I was like, I gotta work out at this point, because I was like, it's so simple. Like, it's one of those things where it's, because I worked out a ton. I played soccer in high school. I ran I ran a 6-minute mile, 23-minute 3-mile. So like, that's in my head. That's where I know I can be.
Yeah.
I'm not there anymore, but that's my own fault. But I'm not. But like, I know where I can be, and that's what I'm working towards now, is trying to get back to that level of fitness where I can run that 6-minute mile, run that 23-minute 3-mile.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things, because I don't know. It's just, I don't know what flipped in me like the last 2 weeks. But it's like, I just feel like I was kind of, wallowing and just kind of like, all right, like everything's going to be fine.
Right,
and just kind of like walking, just walking down the sidewalk like that.
Yeah.
And something flipped in my mind where it's like, I know that I have to be patient to achieve whatever I want to achieve. I know that it's not going to come tomorrow. But if there's something I can actively do to get there faster, I should definitely do it. And that's the thing with getting fit. It's like, I could walk around the block. I could walk 3 miles every single day all the way through.
Yeah.
But for me right now, it's just starting out, I can't run a full 3 miles in one go. I have to, I get tired.
Yeah, you gotta walk a little bit.
Yeah. So I get tired after the first one, but I know in my head that it's not going to be easy, but that's the whole point, is that it's not going to be easy.
Yeah. And it comes down to, setting a goal for yourself. Like, that's your goal now. And totally. So now you can reverse engineer that goal and, make a plan that gets you to that. And honestly, that fires me up, because like you're the person that I want to help the most. And like, because that was me. Like I, was fit in high school. I played sports, and then, didn't really, and honestly came out of high school and didn't know a lot about fitness, just kind of followed directions, but didn't know how to do it for myself. And so that fires me up that you are getting value out of it, for sure.
And the biggest thing too is someone like you, like I teach the game, but for someone like you can do fitness wherever, whenever.
Yeah.
It doesn't even need to be something that you do, I have to block out this amount of time. No, it's something you can do. And that's why the coolest thing too is your fitness plans and stuff like that aren't all locked behind some paywall that it's like, if you were to go try to get a trainer at a gym, you not only have to pay the gym dues, you have to pay the trainer just to get fit, versus now you, and there's a ton of other people that put out all this content where it's like, okay, how do I do this workout? What is this? What muscles does this work on? And like, if this is too easy for me, what's the next step?
For sure.
And so that's the biggest thing, especially because for me, that's the hardest thing that I learned, because I was like you in high school. I was like, okay, I'm doing this workout, I'm doing squats, I'm doing running, but like, I don't know why. Like, I don't see the next step as to like, all right, if I do squats today and I do chest tomorrow and I do my arms or whatever the next day, like, why do you do it in that? Like,
why am I doing it in this order? And where am I going from this? Like,
it also is different, because like, if you got in trouble, you had to do conditioning. Running. You do.
That is so true, bro. It's
and
like,
you don't know why. You don't know why that's the punishment. But now I understand why that's the punishment, because you're building up discipline by punishing yourself.
For sure. For sure.
by making everything a lot harder. You're going to
Yeah.
end up building discipline where it's not going to be that hard to run that mile anymore.
Yeah.
And eventually you can keep adding miles onto it.
Yeah. Well, and you think about it, like in fitness, like I even probably for you in the last couple of weeks, like it was really hard the first day to get back out there and run a mile.
It's still
like,
hard. It is still hard.
Yeah. But it gets so much easier to block out that time of like, okay, I'm going to run a mile today. It's like, like I am going to run a mile today. And it's the same for like what we're talking about with gaming. Like it's like, I was really bad a couple months ago, like awful. Like my team was like, I went 12 rounds without getting
this game is the hardest, like one of the hardest learning curves I've ever had.
I agree with you. And I don't think people like give it
And it's not
respect.
getting easier. It is not getting easier.
No.
Let me tell you, I've been in the game for way too long and I don't even have like a concept in my mind of how hard it is for newer, like for you, I would have no like reference.
Oh, bro,
point
like, I mean, the different ops you got to know about, like, drones, sound, like the sound is, trying to figure out that, it's like, there was so many, and then the maps and angles that people can shoot you from. Like, I don't think people give Rainbow Six Siege enough credit for how difficult it is.
I totally agree.
Learning curve.
I totally agree.
Okay, Josh, talk to me real quick. I know we got a limited time, but talk to me real quick about just the nitty gritty of YouTube. So like, because like for me, like I'm sitting under 1,000 subscribers. Like nitty gritty. How do you, like, if somebody wants to be a gaming YouTube channel or anything, like talk to me a little bit about how you would grow and things you've learned by growing to over 12,000 subscribers.
Yeah. So I have the perspective of someone who has a gaming channel. I really feel like all of this will apply to anything. Because for the most part, YouTube's kind of similar in all the genres. All the genres have their own little, like, makeup is makeup, personal finance is finance. But one of the biggest things on YouTube that I noticed is that you have to use tags. So individual video tags. And the best way that I have found to do this, for you, if you wanted to do something on superheroes and fitness, like if that was a video you wanted to do, go look up whatever you want your video title to be. Go find the first couple of videos. And there's an extension, I think it's called vidIQ.
vidIQ.
You can go on these videos, look at their tags, and then eventually, because for me, like if I do a how to play Ash, and Ash is a really popular character. If I do all these video tags where the video tags like how to play Ash Rainbow Six Siege, Ash Rainbow Six Siege, these are things that the search bar is trying to look for when it's trying to like give you a video results listing. And eventually, once one of those videos picks up, you're going to have the chance to where a lot of people will watch your channel, and then eventually you move up in those rankings on those searches. That's been the biggest thing for me. Also, another thing, thumbnails. I feel like there is, I mean, you feel like when a thumbnail doesn't look good, or if it's like all of
my thumbnails, because they're designed by me, and sadly,
but when you watch YouTube and like you see you're watching your own video, and then you see on the search bar there's something that's on there, and you're just like, what is that? But you don't click on it. You're just like, I have no idea what that thumbnail I have no idea what that is. You don't want to be that part of the thumbnail. You want to be like, what is this? Because that's the part too, is the thumbnail is the first thing everyone sees. And so if you can, for me, I found a font, and I found a different way for it to look like my videos. Like especially the last 20 videos look very consistent. In terms of the styling. So that's
for sure.
That's the important part for me is it's almost like a personal branding thing where like I want them to see that this is
that's interesting. Because like if you're putting out content around a game, like there's a lot of people that put out, I mean, Rainbow Six Siege is a little less than like other games, but like there's a lot of people that put out content around that game, and like putting out like your videos where like if I see a thumbnail, I know, oh, that's Josh. It's like it's Josh Snipes. Like the
nice part is too. No, you're all good. the nice part is too, is for someone like you where, you're talking to the camera versus
Yeah.
me, I'm recording over gameplay.
Yeah.
You have your face. That is your personal brand, which I
Yeah.
feel like is 1,000 times easier, one, to recognize, and two, to sell.
Yeah.
Because
Now that's
at the end,
interesting, because
at
like
the
I
end,
would
yeah, because at
think,
the end of the day, that's what it is all about. Is you just want people to click on your videos and
yeah.
give them value. It's like that, it's that pickup line that they get you through the door and then they sell you something. And just selling you something is having someone watch the video, not actually selling something, but just having someone watch the video and then giving that person value. And they're like, dude, I didn't know I needed this YouTube
Yeah.
channel. I just head on in and subscribe, and then I watch all the videos. So
For sure. I mean, like that. I mean, that's with your content. Like, there's a very simple thumbnail of like how to play. I might throw it on the screen here before, so that they can see it. But like how to play Habana, how to play Mira. Like it's very specific. What you're like. What video you're clicking on. And then the value is like the actual video, like what you teach in that video.
Yeah.
But like I would say,
you can do that too, because you're in a perfect. I feel like the genre you're in versus sort of the fitness and personal growth genre, I feel like that's going to explode within the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's already like huge now, but I feel
Yeah.
like there's so much that people can give, because that's the whole thing. You can learn a lot just from you doing the podcast, or you just giving your own personal struggles and things of that nature. You can say, this is what I went through. This is what I learned.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm now. So you give people that timeline in a very quick fashion.
That's a good point. I'm going to make a note, man. I like that. Timeline video.
That's the same thing with Instagram too, though, is, I mean, you can very quickly say, like, I couldn't do 10 push-ups.
Yeah.
Now, after working at it for X amount of time, I can do 10, I can do 20, I can do 100. You know what I mean? It's giving people that sense of this is possible, and being being a human,
Yeah. Bro, we need to get you doing a workout video, bro. 100%. Like, this is fantastic. This is good stuff. I didn't realize I was getting YouTube coaching here, so I'm pumped about this. So that is great advice.
I'm sure I can come up with like a list of things that I've learned, but the tags and sort of the branding of the channel branding, I mean making it your own, not it doesn't have to be anything specific, just being something that represents you. And so, like, if you're into video games, you're into superheroes, you're into fitness, just make it you and something that you really like, because people really like that, like, personal brand of someone that they can attach to, especially if it's something on top, like, if it's you as a person on top of, like, if you love video games, you love fitness, or you love superheroes and stuff like that. It's like the perfect.
Bro, that just gave me chills, because, like, I think being yourself is so important for whatever dream, whatever goal you're attacking. Like, it's so important to be who you are. And honestly, that is what, like, with the Instagram, like, kind of shifting to more like gaming, fitness, superheroes, like, shift, and sports. Like, I'm shifting more to like just who I am. Like, it's like, I play video games. I love superhero movies. Like, I like sports, it's like kind of just shifting in that direction, because I felt like it wasn't 100% Connor, and it's like, and I'll probably lose a ton of followers, that
content. Happens.
Like,
anytime you shift like that, you're gonna lose someone along the way, but that's totally okay, because you want to build who you are. You want to build that brand, especially if it's a personal brand. If it's like an actual business, that's a little different. But your personal brand, you definitely want to build it around who you actually are, so that way people know what to expect every time that they go to your Instagram page, your YouTube. They know what to expect from you, and they sort of have like, you always hear that. I'm sure you watch Gary Vee enough where you kind of hear that internal dialogue. Just post, just do it. Like, what he's gonna say before he even says it. So.
100%. Yeah, and how important do you think, Josh, like, for somebody like, who has a lot of different interests? Like, I mean, even me, like, I'm thinking like, okay, I got sports, superheroes, like gaming, fitness. Like, how important is it to, like, you can build a brand that's all of those things? Like, it might take longer, but like, you can, like, what are your thoughts on people who are like, okay, I have all these different interests. Like, what do I do here?
So I think, and I feel like this kind of applies no matter what platform it is. It doesn't have to be YouTube. because everyone runs into that issue of, you start off on this one thing and then you're like, wait, I want to show them all of me.
Yeah,
And then you lose
for
some people
sure.
along the way. The biggest thing is that I feel like you got to make it in a way, like you got to make that content, especially if you're trying to maybe shift or trying to show a little bit more of yourself,
Yeah.
make it in a way where you don't exile those original fan base that you built, but you also not flooding so many things that you don't care for. If you like fitness, but you also like comic books, you like video games, you like watching movies and TV, there's a point of, I don't even know what you would call it, but there's a point where you just start flooding it, and then people are like, I don't even know what to expect from him anymore.
Yeah.
So I feel like there are some things, where if you like a sports team a lot, you might not post about that sports team in terms of like your actual Instagram post.
Yeah.
But maybe, you head onto the stories, you're like, dude, I can't believe I love New York Giants as a football team. So I'll just use them as an example.
Josh.
I think that just ended the podcast.
This is horrible.
No, but I like the New York Giants. So if I had an Instagram story and because my Instagram that I have for my YouTube channel, it's all video game clips.
Yeah.
But I might get on my Instagram story and say, I cannot believe the Giants just picked up so-and-so. That was really awesome.
A great point.
Or sometimes you don't even need to put out, a YouTube video or actual Instagram post. You can just do a quick little insert of yourself and just give little bits and pieces of yourself to people.
That's a great point.
It's not shifting entirely from the content you're making, but then you as a creator, you're happy with what you're putting out, because now it feels like you're putting your whole self out.
More you.
Because that's what I was talking about with my girlfriend last night. Eventually I'm going to diversify to live streaming more, because now I don't live stream that often. I'm going to live stream more, and then for me that's an opportunity for me to show who I am. Because it's a different audience on a lot of different, especially when you switch platforms. It's a different audience.
For sure. Yeah.
So there's that opportunity as well.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. And that kind of leads into kind of our final question, but real quick, I have to ask, who's your favorite superhero?
Oh,
I know it's a tough question. It's a freaking tough.
Can it be a villain? Does it have to be a superhero?
Oh, it can definitely be a villain.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Dude.
It's going to be hilarious if I don't know it.
Joker's definitely the favorite.
Oh, dude, Joker's great.
When we went and watched the Joker movie, the one with Joaquin Phoenix, and walked out of that movie I felt uncomfortable. I just felt so uncomfortable. It was a really good movie, but I felt so uncomfortable. But I feel like for me, the Joker is definitely one of my favorite villains, because he's such a weird dude, and he's such a anything can happen and just does whatever he wants. I feel like everyone loves a good villain, so that's why I really like the
100%.
But if I had to pick a superhero, I like Batman. So I guess those kind of
you're just a Batman universe. I like it. Well, you gotta think when you were when me and you were young teenagers, that's when the Dark Knight was blowing up.
Totally.
The Heath Ledger one came out when you were 11 and I was 13. It's
that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. But that movie was it changed everything. It changed superhero movies from that point on. And it was, and you think about that, if you grew up loving that movie, of course, Joker and Batman, you're just one, you probably I don't remember a film before that time that the villain was that compelling, not in a way that you supported him, but you just loved the villain so much of oh my gosh, this is such a good freaking.
Well, it's also sometimes too, I feel more so in the Batman Joker movies. There's a bunch of different ones, but I feel most of the time the way that they write it's not just Batman gets the bad guy. It's always just mayhem for the first 2 hours of the movie. Maybe the last 30 minutes of the movie is the Batman wins. But the Joker is one of the few villains in superheroes for me that's consistently just off the rails the whole movie.
Crazy.
And kind of needs to get reeled in by Batman, but he's never consistently he hasn't done anything else in this, especially in any of the DC Universe series that they put out for Batman and Joker.
No, Suicide Squad, they didn't use him at all. Like it was just
No.
it was horrible.
No.
So that's it. I like that. Batman. I like the DC. You know, a lot of people like throw out Marvel superheroes, you know, and Marvel's great. I love Marvel. Thor.
Marvel movies are amazing.
Oh, they're fantastic.
They're just like
top shelf.
Yeah,
like
they're amazing.
It's unbelievable.
Movies.
But like I'm a Flash guy, so like I like a little DC action.
Yeah.
You know, of course I'm wearing my Captain America today, but you know, like I'm a Flash guy. So, all right, Josh, as we're wrapping up, I want to know where, like, what are your goals moving forward with this? Like, do you want this to be full time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I know you're not full time right now, and honestly, if you don't mind talking a little bit about the side hustle mentality before you even go into what are your goals moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be helpful because like I'm doing it as a side hustle as well.
Oh,
so
totally.
it's a big deal.
So I'm gonna take a step back and go personal goals instead of just the
I like
YouTube goals. Because I actually wrote them down the other day.
Nice.
So
I
really
caught you on a perfect day.
Yeah, you caught me. Yeah. So the first one, I don't have like a weight that I want to get down to, but right now I'm 190, and around 170, I think it will be a good weight where I can start. Because I know that if I start adding on muscle or start just building that, I know I'm not gonna drop a ton of weight.
Yeah.
So 170-ish in that range somewhere. And then obviously I want to be able to run how I could run in high school.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing too. For YouTube, the next like milestone for me, hitting 20K, that would be huge for me. I'm trying to like work through a logistical plan of how I get there maybe a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So I've been in sort of the steps of that. But in terms of the side hustle and then what I want to do with it, I don't think I'll ever leave the job that I'm currently at because I feel like for me, the job that I'm currently at, there's a lot of opportunities for me to learn leadership and business style versus like on YouTube because it would be a little harder to learn a lot of those aspects of business and those aspects of just personal growth because you don't get like this is obviously a person-to-person interaction, but like for gaming, it's not always
that way.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'd ever, leave my job and drop out, but I'm saying that now, not knowing what's in the future.
But that's a great place to be at. Like loving your job while you're doing a side hustle, is a fantastic spot to be at because then you can take it so slow and really build a community and an audience. Totally. So
and I mean maybe later on I don't want to do game anymore. I want to shift to something else. I'm not really sure. That's obviously in the future, a long time from now. But for the side hustle, it's continuing to build it, continuing to grow it, get opportunities that I don't get right now. Like I would love to be invited to some of the Rainbow Six events. That would be amazing.
Man.
But I know I'm not at the point right now where I'm big enough or like I give enough value to the company to be invited.
Oh, bro, you're getting there and you're giving a lot of value to the company. Like it's shocking to me. I did actually a video the other day about if I was a game publisher, what would I do? And like people like you who are putting out consistently good content around my game, like I would be trying to promote you as best I could.
Just like reel it in.
Yeah. I mean, literally 2, I would be trying to get like pop culture celebrities who don't play the game playing with you, like, because you've got people who already love the game that are spending their personal time making content for your game. Like, why would you not be like, hey, Drake, why don't you also play with, it's like, and obviously you got to make it like, somebody who plays with, who kind of, with Drake and Ninja, like Drake was already watching Ninja. He liked Fortnite, you got to make it, authentic to them, I think connecting other streamers, other YouTubers, trying to just grow the community. Because that's the biggest thing. Sorry, continue with goals.
No. So it's all good. So that for me, I don't know if I'll ever sort of venture out to make it a full-time job. I'm not sure right now. I obviously am not at the point where that's an option. So it's not like I don't have that choice yet. So maybe down the line it might be, but I'm not too sure. It would just depend on what the benefit versus the cost of it is. But
you
also,
accountant, you finance major over here, opportunity cost, and
and then the other thing is too. I actually was thinking about this the other day. I I wanted to sort of do essentially this, maybe in a not necessarily a podcast style, but just like a video, talking over gameplay or something. I
Yeah.
haven't thought about this at all.
Yeah. Hey,
Talking over
nice. This is
gameplay.
a perfect spot for you to flesh this out right here.
Yeah. So talking to other people who play, who make videos like I do, in the Siege community at least, because that's a good. I can start there and then maybe one day venture out into something like into more genres. But that's been something I've been conceptualizing too in my head was how can I do it in a way that I can sort of like doing what you're doing now, where it's like we're adding value to someone who's watching or listening. So that's the part that I'm going to work on this weekend is thinking of, and it's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to know until I actually do it. But just thinking of, okay, how can I give value to the listeners, the people who are watching? Because at the end of the day, that's the best part of this being a side hustle is I have the opportunity to give back to people. Because that's the thing too, is if I ever do end up live streaming and stuff like that and pursue that a little bit more, it would be 100% charity stream. It wouldn't be,
awesome.
Because I'm in a place where I don't need all that money. I'm not like begging for donations or anything like that. I want to be able to give back to people because,
so cool.
I just want to open up that opportunity for people to be able to give back, especially like I don't expect someone to buy content from me because I don't think I add enough to someone to charge the. That's why I haven't opened up. I have the option to open up. I think I think it's called memberships on YouTube or something like that. Where basically, you can just like have a membership to someone's channel. I haven't opened that up yet because I haven't found anything where it's like, is this worth paying for? Would I pay for it? Like, would it actually be something I'd pay for? Because a lot of stuff that I like doing, I just give for free. Like I just put out YouTube videos for it. So and that's the thing, is that's the direction I want to go, especially with it being a side hustle, is that I can give back to people and I
100%.
can just build my community around that. Because if I can build a really generous, charitable community where it's people want to give back and people want to help other people, because that's the whole idea of the channel, is like a macro perspective is just helping other people.
But cool.
For right now, it's helping other people in the game. But
but eventually, I mean, cool. But I think it's been proven time and time again how much gamers have been giving back. Like you've got Professor Broman, Dr. Lupo, like all those guys who give back so much, and how that's a real thing that can happen by even just putting out content around a video game. Like it's just, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Well, those are freaking cool, man. I love that. And I love that, again, not wanting to leave your job allows you to grow that slowly, where you can really, even if you go full-time one day and you have to take some money from that, to do that. It's cool that you can build a community that is generous, and because you've done it as a side hustle, and you're going to get to that point, especially start doing live streams, start doing, podcasts, whatever you want to do. Because again, like you put out fantastic content, and the more people that keep rolling into this game, which the game is growing, I think.
It's getting humongous. It's just in its infancy. So like if someone's watching this and they're just thinking about getting into it, now is the time. Like if you want to make content for it, you have so much opportunity. Like a game like CSGO or Call of Duty, you might be really hard to get into. But this game, there's a lot of opportunities still that I don't think people realize.
No. And dude, if they shift it to free to play, like they've been talking about a little bit, like it's over. God,
it would be huge. It would be huge.
Like it's over. And the content creators who have already been putting out good content around it, like it's going to pop. Like it's going to go crazy. So bro, well, I appreciate you so much doing episode 3 of Attack Your Dreams. I have been wanting to get gamers on this. So I am like, you are the first one. So like when I'm in episode 100 and I've interviewed 80 gamers, like you will always be the first gamer that was on the Attack Your Dreams podcast. So
I'm telling you right now, you can mark this down on the video, click this video. I'm going to come back here on this podcast when you build this up, because you're going to build it up. You're too driven. You have too much. You put too much effort for it to not work. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I come back on here, this is gonna be a way bigger podcast than it is now. I'm just pointing that out.
I appreciate you. You know what? And you're so encouraging. I might just have you on every week, honestly. So, geez. So, well, Josh, tell them where to find you. Obviously, we've been talking about your YouTube channel, but what other platforms are you engaging on, or what other platforms do you just want some, like maybe it will give you a little bit of a spark to start creating content for? You know, tell people where to find you.
I right now I'm just doubling down YouTube. So just type in Josh Snipes on YouTube. I would be shocked if you find something else before you find my channel.
Josh Snipes on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll find anything else. If you go to my YouTube, if you go to one of the videos, I have all my links in those videos. Nice. Because if you have any questions about the game, or if you're trying to get into making content on YouTube, hit me up on Instagram or hit me up on YouTube or something.
Yeah, he responds really quick on Instagram. So
the thing is, the Instagram doesn't always show me when I get like message requests from people, so it doesn't always pop up. But I try to give what I can, or what I know, because I'm still growing myself, so I still don't know everything, but I'm trying to give what did I do right that I noticed. So but yeah, YouTube, that'd probably be the first place to find me. Instagram is Josh Snipes R6, no spaces.
Awesome.
And then Twitch is Josh Snipes R6. Those are the three things that I'm going after right now.
All right. So every one of you better subscribe to him on YouTube. That will be linked below. Follow him on Instagram and check him out on Twitch. Follow him there as well. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the Attack Your Dreams podcast, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Adios.
See you guys. Bye.